Hello, FPL managers. Welcome to a new episode of the FPL Optimized podcast. This is episode number 93, and it will also be the final regular episode of the season as we only have one game week left, which is game week 38. Yes, we made it to the end. I am Bas, the casual manager, and my co host is Sertalp, the data scientist. This is the podcast in which we combine analytics with the good old eye test. Data or grass, or data and grass? That's the question. So there is not too much left to look at this week, but as we all want to finish strongly, of course, let's see what we can learn from the data. Before we do that, though, as usual, let's review how game week 37 went for us. And, well, we did not expect this when we came up with the idea at the start of the season to look at our head to head scores. Yeah, because actually it's a tie. It's 18-18 between Sertalp and me going into that final game week. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it, Sertalp?
It's really amazing. Yeah, I didn't think this will be the outcome when we are entering the final game week. It's
No.
really exciting. And
Yeah.
considering that the ranks won't change much, but our head-to-head competition is probably one of the most exciting things this week.
Yeah, true. Yeah, plus on top, I made it to three mini league cup finals. So
Oh, you did?
yes,
Congratulations.
smaller mini leagues, but still.
Yeah, your rise in last weeks were really phenomenal. Like you started getting lots of points. You
I had
had
a few
a
good weeks. Yeah, that's nice. I had three 100+ weeks in the last four. Of course, helped by wildcard and bench boost, but yeah, still that was nice. I just started a bit late, but
yeah.
well, I'm enjoying it now.
Okay. Looks like late season is your special.
Yeah, true. So, anything you want to say about how your game week went?
Oh, well, I got 139 points. Well, pretty good on paper, but and also I got a green arrow, which is also
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
But with the template being so strong nowadays that
Yeah.
when your players are scoring goals, getting assists, and your rank is barely moving, which was funny
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad I was able to get the green arrow towards the last game week.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at this realistically, my only aim could be finishing inside 5k, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even that might be a little bit difficult.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, my players with the single games, Tarkovsky, and Gabriel and Saliba, they got pretty good returns, 9, 7,
Yeah.
and 9 respectively, which was the highlight of the week. And also, I sold Fernandez, and he didn't play in the first game of the week,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I was pretty lucky there, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, how was your game week?
Yeah, a bit similar, but less than you at 132. Decent, I would say. It's a game week rank of 444k. I had to look it up. So yeah, we had both had our bench boost. I think wasn't too bad indeed. I had a few single game week players on the bench with Brandwaite, who kept a clean sheet, and also Gabriel for Arsenal. So that was another clean sheet. And then Bruno, luckily yesterday he got an assist. Should have maybe gotten two, but well, at least he got one. And yeah, I had Vicario on the bench. So I think that was a mistake a few weeks ago, getting the Spurs goalkeeper. I think we mentioned that already, that I didn't expect too much from him. And also, he didn't do much. Now I had 4 points with two games. So that's not really good. I think the main one where I lost some points on compared to others is probably Guardiola,
Yeah, same.
because I think the players who had, or the managers who had him could enjoy the two goals from him. I had Ederson, not too bad either. Two clean sheets for Ederson. He left injured, but luckily it was after the 60th minute. So still two clean sheets, so that was decent. So yeah, not too much to complain about. Pretty good. As I said, the only thing that I didn't like was Vicario.
Mhm.
Sorry, Vicario, but
I
yeah,
mean,
pretty useless, I must say.
I got 3 points from Petrovic, so I don't know who's better
Oh,
here.
oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, that one was good, quite good. I had Cucurella with the assist, so I was quite happy with that. Yeah. All right, yeah. So 18-18. So this is exciting for the final game week. Let's see
Hmm.
who will win it. We'll, we'll see next week. And that will be, of course, depending on game week 38, and that's what we will be talking about for the rest of the pod. And to start with, let's look at the chart from Rob T.
Yeah, game week 38 goals and clean sheet odds. So the team with the highest clean sheet, let me start with that one, is Arsenal against Everton with 50% clean sheet probability, which is pretty impressive. And then we have Manchester City against West Ham at home with 46%. And then the third team is Liverpool against Wolves with 42%. Um, well, surprisingly, most of the other teams are. Let me see. Actually, yeah, almost yeah, every team is below 30%. So these three teams are favored to keep a clean sheet, and the others are kind of lucky to get a clean sheet, I guess. In terms of goals, Manchester City has the highest average 3.65 goal expectation against West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we have Liverpool at 3.3 against Wolves and Arsenal with 2.95 against Everton. But Tottenham is very close. They have 2.9 against Sheffield United at away. And then
Yeah.
comes Chelsea with 2.6 against Bournemouth. And then we have two teams at 2.15. They are Brighton against Manchester United, which they are favored to score more. And the other team is Crystal Palace against Aston Villa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any comments?
Well, no, I think we can look forward to a few interesting games in the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about the Liverpool game before. It's a, it's an interesting home fixture, last one of the season, final game for club. So, and I think most of us don't have Liverpool players anymore. So I think that's one thing to look at, maybe to bring in a Liverpool player. From yeah, we'll talk about it later, but also I think people making a transfer probably will be between the Liverpool and the Arsenal assets that we
Mm-hmm.
want to bring in, because probably for the rest we're pretty well covered,
Mm-hmm.
especially those teams that recently wildcarded. So yeah, I can imagine that that's something that will come back also when we look at the optimal team later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we switch to that?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you prepared. Probably a free hit team.
First of all, I will talk about the optimal bench boost team. Like I was
Okay.
checking, there are a few teams within top 10K. I think they still have their bench boost. Well,
Oh,
this is
okay.
kind of like assuming that you also use, wildcard and bench boost, I guess, because but this is an ideal
Yeah.
bench boost of some sort. So in the
Right.
goal, you have Ellison and Ortega. Now that Ederson is confirmed to be out.
Is that
In the
confirmed?
I think so. That's what
Oh,
I
okay.
saw in the
All
news,
right.
but um, well,
Hmm.
don't quote me on that, but that's what I saw.
Yeah.
And in defense, we have Gabriel, White, Alexander Arnold, Pedro Porro, and Guardiol. In midfield, we have Saka, Eze, Palmer, Johnson, Son. And in
Mm-hmm.
forward, we have Joe Pedro, Jackson, and Holland. And Holland is the captain of this team. This team gives 94.98 expected value, which is pretty good, and we are using FPL review projections for this team.
Yeah.
Well, nothing surprising here, to be honest. So most of the games are like, as we have seen in the game week odds, are pretty one-sided, or it looks pretty one-sided. Yeah, most of
Yeah.
the players are naturally have high EV against their weaker rivals.
Yeah.
And any
Yeah,
comments
just
from
looking
you?
at it. Well, I was
Hmm.
just looking at the Ederson news, and you're right. It's from 3 hours ago. It's confirmed that Ederson will miss the final two games, which is game week 38, but also the FA Cup final,
Hmm.
because apparently he has a small fracture of his eye socket. Yeah, it
Hmm.
looked pretty bad, that collision
Hmm.
with Romero, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he kept playing for a little bit, but then Pep took him off. and apparently, yeah, he has a small fracture. So Ederson is out, which is also not good for me because I have him. But okay, maybe Vicario will finally do something for me then. Let's see.
Yeah, you will give
But
him
for the
another
rest,
chance, I
no.
assume.
If yeah, let's see. Team looks interesting, or looks maybe some of the obvious options. Arsenal double defense, something that I don't have, so I've been losing points there. That's clear. So I think everyone who has that pretty much are looking forward. Home game against Everton, so that's good. Trent with Liverpool, certainly a good option. Guardiol, yeah, I wish I had him, especially now
The
with
same.
Ederson injured. And for the rest, no, nothing surprising. Okay, cool.
hmm
So
And then
what's
this, yeah. And then the second team is Optimal Free Hit 38.
okay?
So,
I
well,
wanted
this,
to ask, what's
yeah,
next?
okay.
Free hit.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I should remind everyone that I'm using my own team value. So, if you have more team value, this could be slightly different. But we have Raya in the goal, and then Gabriel, Alexander Arnold, Pedro Porro in defense. We have five midfielders. We have Saka, Salah, Palmer, Johnson, Son, and Joe Pedro and Haaland are forwards. On the bench, we have Ortega, Muniz, Doughty, and Richards. Well, pretty similar team except we have Salah in the midfield.
Yeah,
That's a big change, and also as goalkeeper, it's using a goalkeeper that neither of the goalkeepers in the bench boost like ideal bench boost, which is surprising. But yeah, this is the
oh
optimal
yeah,
free hit team with 77.78 expected value.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the model is still putting quite some faith in Spurs. I would say, of course, it's an attractive fixture away to Sheffield, but Spurs haven't been doing really well lately. They don't look great. So if I would be free hitting, I don't think I would be taking two Spurs midfielders. But
Okay.
of course, yeah, Son is an obvious candidate, that's for sure. But probably I would look at other options instead of Johnson. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's maybe also a bit of a personal preference. Yeah.
hmm
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, one thing that I don't know if it is helpful to anybody, but it's helpful to me that I ran the solver for my own team just to see what's out there for my team because it's
Yeah.
last game week, so there are not too many like interesting moves to begin with. Some of the
Yeah.
moves that I can do are quite obvious. Um, well, ideally, as that's also what solver is suggesting is selling either Gordon or Ederson. Gordon is the obvious move here. And the top choice I get from a sensitivity analysis is selling Gordon for Saka. And this move is, you know, this move appears in 37 out of 40, randomized runs I had. And in 31 of them, it was the best option. The second option I get is selling Gordon for Odegaard. So it is kind of a little bit, riskier, I guess, slightly, because you are getting a player that is owned by lower percentage, like compared to Saka. Might be an interesting move, obviously. The third
Yeah.
one is selling Ederson for Raya, because, I mean, Arsenal
Mm.
has a good clean sheet probability. And then the fourth one is selling Gordon for Luis Diaz. So you were
Okay.
mentioning about getting maybe a Liverpool player. I think that's what I get as my ideal move. Yeah, some of the other moves don't make too much sense, to be honest. Like anything below these are kind of yes, I can do it, but it is not the most ideal move for my team. It most of these come with a loss of expected value, which I'm not willing to do. So yeah, I think my
No.
move will be one of these for once.
Okay. Yeah. So 3 out of 5, no, 4 out of 5 is about selling Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Think he is flagged with an injury,
Yeah,
so
yellow
that's
flag.
something to
Yeah,
keep an eye on. Plus, also, while away to Brentford, I mean, still a decent game, but yeah, if you have to sell one of your midfielders, it could be indeed Gordon. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. And when I look at my
Okay.
team, it also makes sense, like bringing Saka in, and then I will have pretty much a decent team. I have Petrovic in the goal, and then Gabriel, Saliba, Pedro Porro in defense. Pretty good like defensive setup there. I already have Foden, Palmer, Johnson, and Son, which like we talked about Johnson and Son just a second ago about the free hit, but yeah, they have pretty high expected value this week, and then Saka increases my expected value quite a bit, and then my forwards are Jackson and Holland. So yeah, I mean, if you look at from this angle, my team is pretty well set up, and Gordon is the only problem here. Well, also Ederson, but I have Petrovic anyway, so it is better to keep the goalkeeper, I
Yep.
guess.
Yeah, maybe one thing to get to consider, like, okay, Saka could be the first name that comes to mind for Arsenal, but there is also Havertz and Trossard, who has been playing recent games, also scoring goals. So I
Hmm.
think maybe with having some kind of more differential strategy in mind, that could be another option. I think,
Yeah,
like for
yeah,
me,
certainly.
I'm thinking more about Havertz at the moment, but
Okay, okay. You wanna
yeah, I
pick
shouldn't tell you,
sides?
but
Yeah,
yeah. But
let's
we
see.
need to, because for a big part, our teams are also quite similar. So yeah, I need
Yeah,
to find a difference somewhere. Yeah,
yeah. Our goalkeeper is the main difference, I think,
yeah,
and yeah,
yeah,
pretty much all the rest. And I have Johnson in midfield. Yeah, I think that's main differences.
yeah. You have double Arsenal defense. I only have Gabriel, and then I
Oh,
have
you have only one. Okay, okay.
yeah, I
That's
only have
nice.
one. So that's why I can bring in another Arsenal player.
Yep.
Or basically, I can bring in two Arsenal players because I only have Gabriel at the moment. But yeah, I'm not taking hits for the final game week. I mean, the team looks good enough. So
Hmm.
just picking the one, and yeah, Arsenal. I also like Liverpool. Maybe like Gakpo. He has been playing a lot. He also has been scoring goals, and I think that will be a nice home game. The last one, the Liverpool home game. But
Hmm.
while Arsenal being in the race for the title, that's probably where I would bet on. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay. So is it already time to look at the captain options?
Certainly. In game
Okay.
week 38, the ideal captain is Haaland with 8.38 expected value
Yeah.
across. So this is again the average of all the like models we are tracking this season.
All right.
And we have Salah in the second position with 7.7, and Son is third with 6.9, and we have Palmer in the fourth place with 6.8, and finally Foden in the fifth place with 6.2. So yeah, I mean Holland is quite clear unless you want to take the bet on Salah
Yeah.
to overscore essentially Holland, and then maybe you can get a boost in the last game week. Unless you are kind of like trying to achieve a certain rank and then you are somewhat far, I think
Yeah.
captain Haaland will be ideal choice here. And Haaland is also optimal captain in every model except FPL team. FPL team has Salah ahead of Haaland,
Right.
but it is only 2% more, so it's not a big difference.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think Haaland is the obvious option. City at home, they can win the title. So yeah, for sure it will be an attacking game. We can expect some goals there. So it's a big risk if you don't go for Haaland. But yeah, to your point, it's the final game week. So if you do want to take that risk and maybe still climb some rank, if you get it right, then yeah, you could go for it. But
Yeah.
you could also lose rank. But maybe some people don't care about that anymore. But
Yeah.
personally, still, end of season, I still want to finish as high as possible. So I will just go for the most sensible option, which for me is Haaland. For me, the number two, though, would be Palmer, I think, because Chelsea at home and also with Palmer's form, I think that would be also a good one to bet on. Yeah.
So you will put Palmer to the second position, and who's your third pick? If
The third pick would probably be Salah, then, yeah, or a Liverpool player. Yeah,
okay.
Salah. Yeah. Okay, all right. So probably we will not make the difference between the two of us based on captaincy, but let's see. We'll have to find the difference somewhere else then.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that was it already for today. Is that right?
Yeah, we have the mini league first.
Yeah, mini league. So yeah, no surprise that we have still Jonas Sant Labak because I mean he's the number one OR in the game. So yeah, no surprise that he's also leading our mini league. He also had a good game week score with 143 points. He's now on 2,728 points in total. And if I'm correct, I looked it up in the full game in FPL. He's 46 points ahead of the number two. So kind of, well, it looks like a done deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, looks like it's very high
Yeah,
probability, but yeah,
yeah, very high
it's not certain.
probability. That's quite amazing, I think. I mean, I don't have any historical facts, but usually it often gets decided in the final game week, doesn't it?
Yeah, usually it's very close. Jonas
Yeah,
got
yeah.
quite lucky. Yeah.
So Jonas, wow, what a season! Number two is Sandeep Jaswal. He had a game week score of 128 points, and he's now on 2,653 points in total. And on number three, I believe we have a new name. It's Sam T with his team Ederson, Ake, and Palmer. He scored 147 points last week, and he's now on 2,644 points in total. So, welcome to the top three, Sam. It looks like you're peaking at the right moment. So, yeah, pretty cool to be in the top three. And last week we looked at the cup, so I think we should do that again because it's time for the final. You have
Hmm.
it here as well. Excellent. So yeah, some big scores in the semifinals as we could have expected. Duncan Gacheru, he beat Chris B with 146 versus 133, and Raish Ganpat had a 149 versus 135 win over Thomas Danes. So congrats to Duncan and Raish for making it to the final, and good luck. And
Yeah.
are you still in any finals, Sertalp?
Uh, I think two mini leagues, but they're
Oh,
pretty small mini leagues. So like,
okay.
yeah, maybe I should pay attention, but yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't really pay attention to cups again. Like
still a fun element in the final game week.
yeah, certainly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in three. I'm definitely keeping an eye on that.
Are they small mini leagues or bigger ones?
Yeah, one is the football club I mentioned last week, the
Mm-hmm.
RBBFC, Brussels British. I think I made the final there. And then there is another one which is quite interesting. It's the how's it called? The Benelux Liga or something. So that's managers from Netherlands and Belgium. I
Oh,
joined it
okay.
once, and it's really competitive. Lots of good managers there because I'm not even in the top 10 for of the rank, but I did make the final in the cup because again I had a late start in the season, so the cup games have been going quite well. So yeah, those are two interesting ones.
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep an eye on on those scores on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, for I think cup it is ideal to have a better late season.
Yeah,
Apparently, yeah,
no, that's for sure. I was thinking that as well. Like the strategy both you and I had, waiting with wildcard and free hit and bench boost. Uh, yeah, that also helped to have a good cup run. That's
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And before we close, let's talk about your jersey.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I think I've worn it before, but I like the shirt, and also with the big game coming up, big Sunday for Arsenal and
Mm-hmm.
City. And again, I don't have a City shirt, so I'm wearing the Arsenal shirt. It's from 2009, 2010, and it's the third shirt. And yeah, it would be quite shocking and surprising if Arsenal still win it, but you never know. Maybe West Ham will surprise us and give City a difficult game. Let's see.
So, do you favor any of the teams? Like, do you root for a particular team? I know you are wearing an Arsenal jersey now, but would you prefer if they
Yeah,
win?
I would
Okay.
prefer it to be honest. Just City won it a few times, and in general, I'm not really a City fan. No, I'm not. And Arsenal, they just had a great season, and I think in other seasons that probably they would have won it, but yeah, City managed to do the same and just what is it, 1 point at or 2 points.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really close. So I no, it would also be a really nice Sunday, right? Or for any football fan to have a kind of a shocking result.
I guess.
So definitely would be rooting for that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I have a good friend who lives in the street, Mark. He's from the UK and he's an Arsenal fan. So also for
Yeah.
him, I hope Arsenal will win it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but there was this then. This was FPL Optimized Podcast episode number 93, and it was the final regular episode of the season. Thanks for listening, and thanks Sertalp for again completing another season together with me.
Hmm.
And I think we'll do a review podcast next week, right?
Yes, yeah, we will have a special guest. We will talk more about it on
Okay.
Twitter. We will announce it. But yeah, we will. We are hoping to record a few more episodes about
Yeah.
reviewing our season and also talk about post season,
Yeah.
some interviews. But yeah, we will see.
Okay. Well, great plans. So, yeah, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you'll get notified when any of our next episodes are released. And if you enjoy our content, yeah, you can also make us happy, as you know already, probably by leaving a positive review. Or if you're on YouTube, you can leave a like and subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on X for Sertalp. It's at Sertalp Bilal, and for me, it's at BelfiBB. And we also have a separate account for the pod, which is at FPL Optimized. And as you know, this season we are also on YouTube.
Before I close, Bas, I have a quick question to you. Are you planning to play Euro Fantasy?
Um, didn't decide yet.
Okay,
I
we
always
talked
like
about
to
it.
do these kind of prediction games where you just predict, who will win and who will make it to the semis. I don't know how do you call that in English, but
Hmm.
kind of bracket games or something like that. So for sure I'll do that, but I don't know if I will do
The
a
fantasy
fantasy
one.
game.
Okay,
No,
sounds good.
you?
Um, Probably I will play. I'm just curious. I I probably never played in some of these,
No.
international tournaments, and international games are also harder to predict. But
Yeah,
it might be a different
yeah.
thing. And also Turkey is playing, so might be
And do
interesting.
you think you'll find enough data to do some analysis?
I might play casually this time, actually. So
No, casually.
going with my
Okay.
gut feelings and whatnot.
Oh, that will be interesting. Let's see how you will do. Yeah.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Okay,
Yeah.
and until
Yeah.
next time, stay curious and stay analytical. Goodbye.
Goodbye.